Boy, if they didn't include a T-wrench and a bunch of green trail markers, I'm gonna be really upset. All is right with the world. Welcome back to the Scale Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. Today we're taking a first look and a quick review of the new Axial UMG10 6x6. And 6x6s seem to be taking the RC market by storm. Traxxas has one, Axial now has one. I've built a couple. They're everywhere. Multi-axle vehicles are super fun and super cool and a lot of excitement on the trail. And I did say trail, but these can of course be used in a rock crawling sort of situation, depending on your terrain and depending on how much you want to get hung up and how much you hate turning around. The wheelbases on these trucks are very long, and Axial's is no exception. It essentially adds about 5.5 inches to a standard 12.3 inch wheelbase, which I better double check because I'd hate to be wrong on that. I'm right. Like my wife says, I'm not always right, but I'm never wrong. This is Axial's 6x6. It's based off the UMG10. This is the UMG 6x6. They've done an extended cab, so this is like a 4-door UMG or Unimog style body. It's not quite a Unimog in terms of the grille, but Knight Customs makes a really nice replacement, which I've got on my UMG 10. You can get this grille for that truck back there. It is totally the same front half of the body, so you can quite easily replace that grille if you're so inclined. This one also has portals on it, but we're not talking about that today. That's for another day. I will be sharing more updates on the UMG10 in another series, What's on the Bench. Be sure to watch for that. That'll be coming very soon. To complement that 4-door body, they've got a really nice, deep, full-flat bed for the rear here with this nice plastic cage and spare tire mount. They do have indents for all of the shock towers, but overall it's a very nice looking body. It's well molded. There's lots of nice plastic details like wipers, mirrors, door handles, full grille up front, also has light buckets. There's a snorkel as well. It's very nicely detailed. The cage work in the back is nice and rigid and helps add a lot of stability to a very large body. I won't lie, it's very big. I do very much like the look of this truck, and I think that Axial's really hit a kind of a key kind of market with this style. I think it's utilitarian, offers a lot of ability to be customized, and just kind of is unique. You don't see a lot of these out there, and you certainly don't see a lot in RC form, so it's really cool to see that. With that additional axle, it is adding about 5.5 inches to the overall wheelbase. So you're looking at about 18 and 3/4 inch wheelbase. It is a long truck, which will certainly not help in steering performance. But you didn't buy a 6x6 to steer very well, did you? Axial does include a pretty rudimentary sticker kit. Most of the stickers have already been put on the body. The only one that I felt like adding was the license plate, so stickers added. The paint itself, I think this was actually painted on the outside of the body, which is a first for Axial, I do believe. It's sort of a matte finish metallic silver, and it looks really nice. I really like the actual look of the truck. It's a lot more utilitarian than some of their other trucks, and of course, you know, the Unimog and its style of truck are very utilitarian. Instead of the black plastic molded beadlocks from the kit version of the UMG, we're getting a gray molded plastic, which I think complements the silver body quite nicely. In addition to the 6 wheels and tires, you do get a full spare that is functional as well. These are the MT45 military style tires. Despite this being an RTR, these feel like the same kit compound tires that came with the UMG10 kit. Smooth molded bumper at the front houses light buckets, and LED lights are included both front and rear. The windows are a deep tint, but they are clear, so if you were to add an interior later on, you could definitely do that. The mounting of the body is very similar to the UMG10. There is 2 hidden body posts underneath the front of the cab, and it's all on a hinge, so it lifts up all the way to reveal all of your electronics and your battery tray, and gives you full access to everything you might want to get at. Also included is a 161 inches of torque servo. That servo is waterproof, but does have plastic gears inside. So it is an RTR basic servo, but 161 inches of torque should get you through most basic obstacles. Talking about the chassis briefly, from the middle axle forward, this is all SCX-10.2. There is nothing new, nothing different, and it is the 3-gear, all metal gear transmission included. 35 turn motor, Dynamite ESC with the LED pigtails. And this also features the IC3 connector. So Horizon is definitely pushing their smart technology. This is one of the 3 latest trucks to include the new electronics from Horizon. The unique feature to the UMG 6x6 is that this 6x6 system is modular. And I really hope that Axial releases it as a kit, because all you need to have is an existing SCX-10.2 and you can do this conversion. It's not a new set of rails, so you can actually just add on this rear set of rails to your existing SCX-10.2 to make a 6x6 if you were so inclined. I like that it's modular, and I like that they're thinking about the aftermarket and giving people an option to do this upgrade later on. Hopefully, and this is at the time of my publication of this video, there is no separate kit available to convert to a 6x6, but I really hope that Axial pays attention to their aftermarket and does something with that as a separate piece so people can do that upgrade if they want. The SCX-10.2 base chassis is fairly stiff. They have added a lot of additional cross members to stiffen up that rear end. That's one of the main complaints I think about a longer set of chassis rails, is that there could be a little bit of flex built into that. They've done everything they can here to sort of nullify that. They've also added a huge plastic brace to the underside of the bed to really add some more rigidity to that huge piece of Lexan, which I think is really key. It's a nice little touch that says they're really paying attention. Because all the axles are locked, you will notice a bit less steering angle, and that's just because you're scrubbing all I don't know how many axles there are. That's just because you're scrubbing all 3 axles when you're turning. Once you get it into the dirt though, and you give it a bit of throttle, you can spin this thing right around. It will probably get hung up a little bit more in the rocks. I think the intention of this truck is less rock crawler and more trail truck. And I'm fine with that. And I've certainly seen a lot of videos of the UMG 6x6 performing very well off-road. Not only is there some plastic bracing on the bottom of the bed, but there are a lot of plastic bracing pieces throughout the whole body. And it's really adding to the rigidity of the whole thing. And I think that Axial was really looking at how the UMG 10 went together and decided to give it a bit more beef overall to make it a much more resilient and rigid body. Geometry in a 6x6 is really important, and it's one of the things that I poured over when I was making the Loco Hawk, which is right there. That truck, at the time, there was no 6x6 off-the-shelf options, so I had to kind of make my own, and I did exactly what Axial did, which was take the frame rails, cut them, add them onto the existing chassis. I brazed them together so it is one solid piece now, but the basic geometry is the same, and I'm really happy to see that I didn't screw it up. One note on the links is that these are the non-tapered steel links, so they don't have that smooth tapered end, so they could get a little bit more hung up than those kit-style links, but ultimately, with 6 wheels on the ground, there's a lot less chance of that happening. Because the SCX-10.2 uses the AR44 high pinion axle, they have to do something a little bit different on that middle axle to get the pass-through for the rear axle. In order to make everything work, the pinion output is on the bottom, and that's a pretty interesting way of doing it, and I guess it's really mechanically the only way to do it. And then of course the rear axle is flipped and is a new mold, so you actually have, instead of a high pinion, you have a low pinion on the rear. And because it's an RTR, it does have the plastic bodied shocks. It would be nice to see an upgrade to the aluminum bodied shocks. I know there are 6 of them, so you are adding some cost overall, but I think in this day and age we deserve those slightly better shocks. Axial includes the Spectrum STX2 2.4 GHz radio. This is the basic bare bones RTR radio with analog controls, but it does have the limiter on throttle, so if you're new to this hobby and you don't want to smash your truck up on the first run, this does give you that option to slow down the throttle a little bit. It's got a plastic wheel. It is very basic, but it will get the job done. Because it's a Spectrum radio, it comes with a Spectrum receiver. That receiver is not DSMR compatible, so you cannot pair it to, say, a DX5C, which uses DSMR. This is just their basic bare bones RTR radio, but it will get the job done. Because you've got the reliability of an SCX-10 II under the hood, I think that this will stand up to a fair bit of abuse, and there will be a huge aftermarket available. There will be all kinds of things that will make this even better down the road. And if you're enjoying this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild. As with any Axial RTR, you do get some spare plastic bits. You can make some ammo cans there. There are some actual mechanical spare parts in case you bust a drive shaft or a shock hoop or any of those bits that's there as well. I haven't seen these before. These are some tools. There's a little tiny spade shovel, an axe, a fire extinguisher. Oh, a hammer is there too. I've never seen those before. Can anyone know if these are new or not? I think they might be new. Pretty cool. It's great that there are options out there, and it's nice to see that Axial and Traxxas are putting 6x6s on the market and giving people a choice. I think it's great to see, and I hope that there will be other variants of 6x6s in the future. It'd be really cool to see something like, I don't know, an XJ, for example. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon.